Hey guys, welcome back for another video. It's that time I'm going to do our college football picks and predictions for all of our week 9 top 25 matchups. We're going to break them all down, look at the teams, and try to predict the outcome, the winner, loser, final score. We'll also take a look at our best bets for every game, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. First things first, though, before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? Leave it in the comment section. I will respond to every comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. Click on the link, sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. Let's not waste any more time. We have a buttload of top 25 games, and we have a couple top 25 versus top 25 matchups. It's a good week. We're getting deeper into conference play. Let's jump right into it. The very first game we have kicking everything off October 25th, this coming Saturday, 12 p.m. on Fox. The 3-4 UCLA Bruins. How about the Bruins the last couple weeks? Obviously, coach gets fired. Skipper takes over as the head coach. No, Jerry Neuheisel. I know a lot of people think he's the coach. He's the offense coordinator right now, calling really good plays, but Skipper is the head coach. They're going to be on the road versus number two, their highest ranking ever, Indiana Hoosiers, 7-0. Kurt Cignetti's team. He says it all the time. All the guy does is win. This is the Fighting Cignettis hosting the Bruins. Bruins coming in here red hot, 3 straight wins, but obviously Indiana riding a 7-game winning streak right now, just curb stomping people. Right now, Indiana, 96.2% chance to win. The Bruins, a 3.8% chance. No one is giving UCLA a shot to win this game. Indiana's 24.5 point favorites, 54.5 over under. Bruins 22.4 points a game, throwing for 193.6, running for 171.0, giving up 27.4 points a game, but obviously playing a lot better the last couple weeks. Nico's finally turned things around. Can he keep that momentum going? 10 touchdowns, 5 picks. Also the leading rusher, 360 on the ground. Indiana, 43.9 points a game. They have a top 10 offense. They have a top 10 defense. They're throwing for 271.3, running for 226.0, 500 yards of offense per game, an extremely balanced offense, only giving up 11.6 points a game. This defense gets after it. Great secondary, great front seven. Fernando Mendoza might be the Heisman front runner right now. 1,800 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Hey, he could be the number 1 pick in the draft. Black is closing in on 500 yards. Surratt, one of the top wide receivers, and has perfect connection with Mendoza. Whenever he throws the back shoulder fade, it's a thing of beauty right now. Indiana, they're just rolling too much. They're a hot team. They're number 2 in the Big Ten. Everything is rolling right now for them. And give me the Hoosiers winning this one 38-13. And then on ESPN at 12 p.m., the 3-4 Syracuse Orange. You have to feel bad for Fran Brown's team here because when they lost Angeli, they basically lost their entire offense. He was going off just in a couple games, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks. He goes down. This offense has not been the same because the general on the field is gone. They'll be on the road versus number 7, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 7-0, undefeated right now, leading the way for the ACC. Do I think Georgia Tech is the number 7 team in the nation? No. I definitely think they are overrated. They're a good team. Do not underestimate them, but they're not number 7. It is what it is. They're probably going to drop one at some point, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll make it to the ACC championship undefeated. As of right now, though, everything is setting up perfectly for them to at least make the playoffs. Just handle your business, and you guys are in. Georgia Tech, 86.6% chance to win. Syracuse, 13.4. Frankie here, he has this team rolling. They are disciplined. Physical ground game. When you can run the ball like this, you control time of possession, you control the entire pace of the game, and Syracuse is struggling on offense. A lot of turnovers last couple games. Georgia Tech, 17.5 point favorites, 54.5 over under. Syracuse, 26.7 points a game, throwing for 294.3, running for 106.6, giving up 29.9 points a game. Obviously, without their leading quarterback here, the offense is stuck in the mud. Georgia Tech, 35.3 points a game, throwing for 234, running for 228.4, extremely balanced. King does everything from the quarterback position, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1,200 yards, but he's also a physical runner, and it's brutal running. 25 carries, putting his shoulder down, running people over, 600 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, 3 straight seasons of 10 touchdowns. The only other ACC player ever to do that, Lamar Jackson. This team is talented, giving up 20.6, but both of these rush defenses give up over 150 yards rushing. That benefits Georgia Tech a lot more. They have the rushing attack. They win this one 34-17. 12 p.m. ABC, number 8, the Ole Miss Rebels, 6-1, coming off that loss versus Georgia at Athens, Georgia. They had the game double lead fourth quarter. The defense failed them. The offense only like 20 yards the entire fourth quarter. Cost them the game, but it showed they can go on the road in the SEC. They can compete with the top 10 team, and they could almost pull off the upset. They got to do it again, though. Going on the road versus number 13, 6-1 Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma, the second most difficult schedule in the country, just behind the Florida Gators here. They'd love to get a win here, get to 7-1, brings them that much closer to the playoffs. For Lane Kiffin, 6-1 Rebels. Don't forget, they only have room for one more loss on their schedule for their playoff hopes. They want to make sure to win this one. As long as they win, four of their final 5 games, they are in the playoffs here. You want to start out, you want to keep that momentum going, get things back on track. Ole Miss 44.8% chance to win. Oklahoma 55.2. This is a very interesting game. This is Ole Miss high-flying offense versus the Oklahoma Sooners top 10 defense. Sooners 4.5-point favorites at home. 52.5 over-under. So much going to come down to Shamlis. Shamlis here wasn't even the starter game one. Still 1,600 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. This guy can scramble. He can take off for first downs. Lacey closing in on 700. Wallace the third closing in on 500 for Oklahoma. So much of this offense goes through John Mateer. He's like 65% of the offensive production. The playmakers got to step up. The offensive line has to step up. The running backs, the wide receivers, you have to make plays when he puts the ball in your hands. And John Mateer, you got to be smart with the ball. 7 touchdowns, 6 picks. Keep the turnovers down. Do not give the ball back to this Rebels offense. Ole Miss, 37.4 points a game. Throwing for 304.1, running for 187.7, 500 yards of offense, giving up 22.6 points a game. They will give up points here. Sooners 28.7 points a game, throwing for 249.7, running for 129.3. Got to get those rush yards up, and not from John Mateer. He runs the ball way too much. You're going to get him hurt again, but they're only giving up 9.4 points a game, only 133 through the air, only 80 on the ground. This Oklahoma defense, it is crazy. Great front seven, great secondary. That's Brent Venables' specialty. It's okay to call me crazy, though, guys. I'm going to go with Ole Miss rebounding off the loss. They pull off the upset in Norman. They win this one 26-23. Extremely close, fun game. And also at 12 p.m. on the ACC Network, number 16 Virginia Cavaliers 6-1, sitting in a perfect spot right now. The ACC, it is a bunch of teams bunched up at the top, all of them competing for the ACC championship. They'll be on the road here versus Bill Belichick's 2-4 North Carolina Tar Heels. Let's just call it like it is. This team, they have no identity. They don't do everything well. They don't score. They don't play good defense. They don't throw the ball. They don't run the ball. Bill Belichick not looking good in the college ranks right now. 15.9% chance to win. Virginia, 84.1% chance. Cavaliers, 10-point favorites, 52.5 over-under. Morris, he does a little bit of everything. 1,600 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 4 picks. He also runs the ball. Taylor closing in on 600. Harris is having a great season. They're averaging 40 points a game. Throwing for 258.4, running for 203.9. Really good offense, giving up 23.3 points a game. For UNC, Gio Lopez, it really doesn't matter who you roll out at the quarterback position. They are not moving the ball. They don't have a good ground game. They're only averaging 18.7 points a game. Throwing for 162.5, running for 105.2, giving up 25 points a game. But I will say this. The Tar Heels are bound to pull off an upset at some point this season. It will happen. I can feel it any one of these weeks now. It's going to happen. So beware. It might be this game. I'm going to avoid this game personally because I see it on the horizon. But as of right now, still going with the Cavaliers offense making the difference. They win this one 28-24. ESPN 2, 12 p.m. Prepare for a complete shootout. There's going to be fireworks this game. This game has high scoring written all over it. The number 18 South Florida Bowl, 6-1. Alex Golesh has this team rolling right now. Brown is doing everything, chucking the ball down the field, taking off. Their only loss to top 10 Miami Hurricanes. This team is in the driver's seat for the group of 5 for the playoff. But that number 2 team is 6-1 Memphis Tigers. They were ranked last week. Don't forget that. They lost to UAB. Massive upset loss there. They were like 20-point favorites. Dropped the game. Probably got caught looking at this matchup. Do not underestimate Memphis here. Memphis, 50.1% chance to win. USF, 49.9. That's as close to a 50-50 fan vote as it gets. Pretty much, it's a pick 'em. Right now, USF, 3.5-point favorite, 65.5 over-under. This game is going to be so high scoring. Probably going to go down at the end of the fourth quarter. Final possession. Whoever has the ball last may very well win it. USF, 41.7 points a game, throwing for 260.4. Running for 215.6, giving up 23 points a game. They give up 265 through the air. There will be opportunities to throw. Brown, 1,700 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 5 picks, another 500 yards rushing on it with 6 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, he does everything. For Memphis, Lewis having a pretty good season. Just keep the turnovers down. 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 picks. They're averaging 38.1, throwing for 216, running for 221.6. Both offenses are balanced. They're giving up 18.3 points per game. This is going to be a crazy game. Would not be surprised if Memphis wins it. They are at home. They have a really good offense, but USF, whoever wins this is in the driver's seat for the group of five. If the Bulls win it, it should be smooth sailing from this point forward. Give me the Bulls pulling off a very close high scoring win, 42-35. 3:30 p.m. on Fox. Number 11 BYU. How about that win versus Utah last week? Showed the physicality of this team. They can compete in the trenches versus a very talented line of scrimmage football team with the Utah Utes. They're 7-0. They're undefeated right now in the driver's seat for the Big 12 with the loss that Texas Tech took last week. They'll be on the road here versus 5-2 Iowa State Cyclones, looking to get back in the top 25, looking to make their case. They won 10 games last season. Matt Campbell, very disciplined team. Rocco Beck, third season with the team, third season in this scheme. Veteran quarterback, 45.7% chance to win this game. Bach Meyerson's taken over for Retzlaff. He's having a really good freshman season. They have a 54.3% chance to win. He has 9 touchdowns, 3 picks, 1,400 yards. He's also running the ball well. And how about Martin? 800 yards on the ground. BYU, surprisingly, a physical line of scrimmage downhill running football team. Gotta love it. Iowa State, the favorite here, 2.5-point favorites, 49.5 over under. Cougars, 35.6 points a game. Throwing for 203.9, running for 232.9 yards per game. Top 15 rushing team in the nation, only giving up 15.6 points a game. And they played some really talented teams. Cyclones, 29.3 points a game. Throwing for 242.1, running for 163.1, giving up 19. Matt Campbell, disciplined coach here, is going to have this team prepared to win. They want to get back into the running for the Big 12 championship, just like they were last year. But I'm going to go with BYU. I was impressed with the way they ran the ball last week. I think they pull it off one more time. BYU pulls off the upset, 27-24. 3:30 p.m. on ABC. Number 4, the Alabama Crimson Tide, 6-1. One of the hottest teams in the nation. Yes, they dropped week 1 to Florida State, but since then, this team has gone on another level, pushing the ball down the field. Ty Simpson right now looking like one of the Heisman favorites, 2,000 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, only 1 pick. They got to concentrate on that ground game just a little more, but a loaded wide receiver core. Bernard, Ryan Williams, grub back, calling plays. This team is pushing the ball down the field. It is working wonders. Just run the ball a little bit more, control some time of possession. They're on the road versus the 3-4 South Carolina Gamecocks. Shane Beamer here came in with lofty expectations this season, potentially making the playoffs. They've fallen flat on that. Sellers, the accuracy throwing the ball has not been good. The running game hasn't been good. South Carolina, 17.6% chance to win. Bama, 82.4. Alabama, 13.5-point favorites, 47.5 over under. Crimson Tide, 35.1 points a game. Throwing for 297.1, running for 125.6, giving up 17.7 points a game. Doing a little bit of everything. Just run the ball a little bit more. You're going to need it if you make the playoffs. Gamecocks, 20.1 points a game. Throwing for 191.1, running for 106.6, giving up 20 points a game. They actually still have a really good defense. I want to see Sellers extending plays with his legs, scrambling for first downs. That's the only shot they have to win this. They almost beat Alabama last year. Can they do it this year? I don't think so. Give me the Crimson Tide winning it 27-16. ESPN at 3:30 p.m. Number 15, the Missouri Tigers, 6-1. This is a very good matchup. Top 15 versus top 15. One of our ranked v ranked top 25 SEC matchups versus number 10, the Vanderbilt Commodores, 6-1. How about Vandy? Top 10 right now, cruising. Diego Pavia back. This guy's like 48 years old, still playing college football. Gotta love it. Great story here. He is this entire offense. Wherever he goes, he carries the offense on his back. 1,600 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's also a dual threat quarterback, almost 500 on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns. On the other side, Missouri, Drinkowitz. They have this team rolling right now, getting a lot of off-season praise potentially that he might be getting some other jobs. Doesn't matter. He has back-to-back 10-win seasons. Tigers are rolling, 44.5% chance to win, but the Commodores at home, 55.5% chance to win. Vandy's 3-point favorites, 52.5 over under. This, in my opinion, it's a pick'em game. Could go either way. Will go down to the fourth quarter. Prabula, Penn State wishes they still had this guy. Good year. Hardy, almost 900 yards rushing. Crazy numbers. 11 rushing touchdowns. On the other side, like I said, Pavia, he's doing everything. Missouri, 39 points a game. Throwing for 242.4, running for 244.9. That's a 50-50 split, only giving up 16.7 points a game, only 83 on the ground. Can they shut down this Vanderbilt rushing attack? Vandy, 41.4 points a game, throwing for 244.7, running for 213. Really good offense, giving up 20 points a game. Gotta love what Lee has done with this Commodore team. Both these teams punching well above their weight class. It's a fun matchup. Whoever wins this game might be knocking the other out of playoff contention potentially. Give me Missouri. Give me Missouri on the road pulling off a very close upset, 27-24. And this next one, an under the radar, really competitive game, 3:30 p.m. The Big Ten Network. Number 23, the Fighting Illini Brett Bielema's team, 5-2, back in the top 25 on the road versus the 5-2 Washington Huskies. Very difficult place for the road team to play. What, they have a 22-game winning streak before they lost to the Buckeyes. This team is prepared. If they win this game, probably should be in the top 25 right now. If they win it, there'll be no holding them out. Washington, 61.6% chance to win. Fighting Illini, 38.4. Washington, 4.5-point favorites, 55.5 over-under. It's a very fun game to look at. Altmaier, year 3 with this team, veteran quarterback, 13 touchdowns, only 1 pick, almost 1,900 yards, averaging 34 points a game, throwing for 264.4, running for 118.7. Not your typical Brett Bielema defense. They are giving up some points. 25.4 points a game given up. Washington, 34.6 points a game, throwing for 269.6, running for 167.6. Really good offense, only giving up 20.3 points a game. Williams at the quarterback, dual threat quarterback, throwing the ball, running the ball. Coleman closing in on 600 yards on the ground. I think Washington, they're at home, well-coached team, pretty decent defense, but it's the offense, the multiple offense, the ability to be able to run the ball, close out games second half. I think Washington wins this one. They get in the top 25. They win it 30-23. Going to the Big 12, 4 p.m. on ESPN, new 1-6 Oklahoma State Cowboys. They don't have Mike Gundy. And let's call it like it is. They really don't have anything going for them. They don't do anything well. They don't do anything average. They're a pretty bad football team on the road versus number 14 Texas Tech Red Raiders, 6-1, coming off that upset loss last week. They didn't have Morton. Morton's going to be back as a starting quarterback. They're going to be out for revenge. Number 1 transfer portal class. This is a team that can win the Big 12, can get to the playoffs. They want to make up for losing without their quarterback last week. They're going to put it on Oklahoma State. Texas Tech, 98.4% chance to win. 38.5-point favorites, 57.5 over under. That's a massive spread for an in-conference game. But like I said, there's the revenge factor. They're pissed off. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, they're going to take up that loss on them. It is what it is. Cowboys, 16.6 points a game, giving up 38.4. Texas Tech, 43.9 points a game, throwing for 302.7, running for 215.1, only giving up 14.1 points a game. Top 5 rush defense in college football. 64.3 points a game. Who would have thought? Texas Tech, a line of scrimmage football team. Morton, great year. Dickey closing in on 700 rushing yards. They can beat you multiple ways. They're out for revenge and they're angry. Texas Tech, even with that huge spread, why not? The Cowboys haven't stopped anyone so far this season. Texas Tech wins it. A shootout game. They put it on them. 55-16. And this next game, a very difficult game to call. ESPN2, 4 p.m., another Big 12 game. The 4-3 Baylor Bears. Do not underestimate the Bears here. Coach could potentially be on the hot seat if they don't finish with a strong season. This is a really good offense. They run the air raid. Sawyer Robinson, 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. Washington closing in on 600 on the ground. Cameron, 600 through the air. They have a very talented offense. They give up a buttload of points. This game's going to be a shootout. They're on the road versus number 21, the Cincinnati Bearcats, 6-1. The Big 12 has some really good teams at the top. All of them still, everything's in front of them for a potential playoff spot. Sorsby, 1,800 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's a dual threat quarterback. He will take off, run, extend play. Cincinnati, 67.5% chance to win. Baylor, 32.5. Bearcats, 5.5-point favorites, 67.5 over under. That's a high score. Baylor, 36.3 points a game, throwing for 344.3. Running for 141.9, giving up 31.4 points a game. And Robinson, what a great season for him so far. Cincinnati, 37.9 points a game, throwing for 261. Running for 185.4, giving up 18.9. They have the better defense. They have the more balanced offense. Would not be surprised if the Bears pull off the upset, but we'll be going with the Bearcats at home. They win at 34-28. 4:15 p.m. SEC Network, number 22 Texas Longhorns, 5-2. That was an awful win last week. They actually dropped one spot. A overtime win, 16-13 versus the Kentucky Wildcats. Not an impressive performance. Arch Manning definitely leaves a lot to be desired. He cannot hit wide open receivers, guys. We like to call it what it is. It's no shade at Texas. This is year 3 with Steve Sarkisian. Same team, same scheme, same system, and it's not looking good right now. Texas cannot run the ball. What happened to Wisner? Where's the ground game? They're on the road versus 4-3 Mississippi State Bulldogs, coming off that loss to Florida. Mississippi State 20.3% chance to win. Longhorns 79.7. Obviously Texas top 5 overall roster, one of the best defenses in the nation. This roster is so talented. The offense should be better, but as good as they are on paper. Texas 6.5 point favorites, 46.5 over under. Longhorns 26.7 points a game, throwing for 218.7, running for 149.4, giving up 11.3 points a game. Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby, punching well above their weight class so far this season. They are a team dead set on pulling off upsets this year. 31.9 points a game, throwing for 227.3, running for 178.6, giving up 20.3 points a game. Shapen, experienced quarterback here, but that Texas defensive line, they're going to be putting it on him. They're going to be coming after him. It's all right to call me crazy here. I may easily regret this one, but I'm feeling the upset at some point. Mississippi State pulls it off at home, 23-20. That might completely backfire on me, guys, but I'm just going to call here. Fox Sports 1, 7 p.m. The 2-5 Wisconsin Badgers coming off of getting shut out by the Buckeyes. Luke Fickell, guys, it is what it is. He's on the hot seat. This Wisconsin team, they have absolutely zero life. They're on the road here versus number 6 Oregon Ducks, 6-1. This Oregon team, Dan Lanning, the recruiting, the portal, top 10, top 5 potential overall roster. This offense is rolling. The defense is rolling. No matter who Wisconsin trots out at the quarterback position, let's call it like it is. They're not going to be able to move the ball. Dante Moore, great season. First year as a full-time starter, 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 picks. Whittington, Moore. There's so many weapons on the team, and the defense is playing good. Oregon is a line of scrimmage football team. Wisconsin, pretty good rush defense. That's about all they can do. 2.8% chance to win this one at Eugene. Oregon, 97.2% chance to win. 34.5 point favorites, 45.5 over under. With Wisconsin getting shut out last week, I don't think they can get shut out back-to-back weeks. That can't be possible, right? They're only averaging 13.3 points a game. Oregon, 44.1 points a game. Throwing for 263.3, running for 241.9, one of the best all-around offenses in the country, giving up 14.4 points a game, only 130 through the air. How about the secondary? Just creating havoc back there, creating turnovers. I have the Ducks cruising here, but getting the starters out early. No need to run the score up here. Keep your eyes on the goal of running the table, getting back to the Big Ten Championship. Oregon wins this one 38-13. 7 p.m. on ESPN. 3-4 Stanford Cardinals. How about the Cardinals pulling off the upset win versus Florida State last week? Feeling pretty hot right now, moving the ball. Grubelson, 1,600 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. Maybe they have some momentum. I think it runs into a roadblock here. They go up against number 9, the Miami Hurricanes, 5-1, coming off of that pathetic performance they turned in last week. Miami, not their best performance. Carson Beck, what the heck were you doing? You guys lost to Louisville. Very talented Louisville team, though. Jeff Brom, look for Miami, looking for the rebound. Everything is still in front of them. If you run the table, you're in the playoffs. Yes, you lost that game. Should have won it. 4 turnovers, had it at the end, threw the pick at the end. But now's your chance to make up for it. Get in the good graces with the committee. Everything's still in front of you. Miami, 96.3% chance to win. 30.5 point favorites, 47.5 over under. That's a massive spread here for a Miami team that hasn't really been the high scoring team that they were last year. I don't know what Vegas is seeing. It is definitely possible that they do. But don't forget, this is a run-focused team. When you run the ball, when you do inside zone over and over and over, you're not usually scoring 50 points a game. So that's a pretty high spread. Stanford, 19 points a game, giving up 27.7, giving up 304 through the air. Miami will be able to throw it, running it, throwing it, play action. They're going to be out for revenge. Miami, 32.7 points a game, throwing for 265.3. Running for 147, only giving up 15.3 points a game. They're out for revenge. I have them dominating this game, but dominating it on the ground in the trenches. They win it 37-13. And how about this one? Another ranked v ranked matchup. 7:30 p.m. ABC. Number 3, the Texas A&M Aggies, undefeated 7-0. Aggies getting a lot of hype right now. Mike Elko, discipline, good offense. Marcel Reed doing everything, throwing it, running it, 1,800 yards passing. 15 touchdowns, 4 picks. Do I think the Aggies are really the number 3 team? No, but I definitely think they're a very talented team, playoff-worthy caliber team. But at some point, those shootout games they've been in, at some point, it's going to end up sneaking up on them. They're on the road here versus number 20, the LSU Tigers, 5-2. Brian Kelly, he needs this win. They're at home, at night, Death Valley. This place is going to be crazy. He cannot afford to lose another home game with everything in front of them. At home, with the Aggies coming in here, This is chance to pull off a solid win, get things back on track. 48.1% chance to win for the Tigers. The Aggies 51.9, pretty much a 50-50 split. LSU the underdog. The Aggies 2.5 point favorites. 48.5 over under. Reed's playing well. Owens, Craver, 36 receptions, 700 yards receiving. This is a very talented offense. 36.1 points a game. Throwing for 267.3, running for 196.7, giving up 23.4 points a game. Like I said, at some point the shootouts, it's going to catch up and they're going to slip up somewhere. LSU, though, not a good offense this year. Nussmeier not playing well. LSU can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball, but a really good defense. Blake Baker has this team ready to go on defense, and that defense is going to be there at home. They're averaging 25.6, throwing for 253, running for 113, giving up 14.6 points a game. It might rear its head here for the Aggies. It sounds crazy to say this because LSU's offense has been struggling since game one. I was saying this was not a playoff caliber team. I didn't care from week one when they beat Clemson. Clemson ended up not being good anyways, but I'm going to go with LSU pulling off the upset here in Death Valley. They win a very close game, 27-24. The ACC Network at 7:30 p.m. 1-6 Boston College Eagles. Bill O'Brien's team not playing good football on the road versus number 19 Louisville Cardinals 5-1. Everything is in front of them for a potential ACC championship slot here, coming off the upset win versus Miami. Do they have a letdown performance? Jeff Brom, talented coach, gets the most out of his players. 25.5 point favorites, 55.5 over under. Louisville 93.1% chance to win. Boston College 27.1 points a game, giving up 33.9. They give up a lot of points. And Louisville, really good offense, 34 points a game. Throwing for 282.2, running for 115.7, giving up 21 points a game. Moss, veteran quarterback. Isaac Brown finally healthy at the running back position. And how about Bell? Almost 700 yards receiving. Bell, Brown, Moss getting rid of the ball quick. That's what made the difference versus Miami. I think they continue that momentum. They win at 35-18. NBC, 7:30 p.m. Number 25, the Michigan Wolverines, 5-2. Bryce Underwood, freshman, great start to the season. Having Haynes fully healthy is one of the keys here. They can run the ball, and Bryce Underwood showing a lot of composure as a true freshman. They're on the road here versus the 3-4 Michigan State Spartans. Johnson Smith's team here, not the best Michigan Spartans team. Childs, though, playing a lot better than he did last season. 10 touchdowns, 3 picks. This is a rivalry game. Take the records, throw them out. Wolverines 87.8% chance to win. Spartans 12.2% chance. Michigan 14-point favorites, 48.5 over under. The Wolverines 28.7 points a game, throwing for 205.7, running for 212.1, giving up 17 points a game. A top 20 national defense, a consistent offense. They don't have a great offense. They just don't have the playmakers at the wide receiver position. But Michigan, Sharon Moore, they run the ball. That's what they do. They get physical. Michigan State 27.1 points a game, throwing for 213.7, running for 123, giving up 32.7 points a game. The defense is not there, but it's a rivalry game. I think that keeps it somewhat close here. But ultimately, Michigan walks away with the win, 28-17. Our second to last game, SEC Network, 7:45 p.m. Number 17, Tennessee Volunteers, 5-2. So many close losses for Tennessee here. When it comes to the last couple of years, they had that game versus Alabama in terms of keeping it close. They were driving down the field. They were racking up yards. It was the turnovers. It was missing opportunities in the red zone. Doomed the team, but give credit to Alabama here. They got to get things back on track. Probably very disappointed after that game last week. Got to put it behind you. Things are still in front of you. You're still number 17. You still have a shot to be competitive this season on the road versus the 2-4 Kentucky Wildcats, who had a chance to upset Texas last week. Coughed it up, so you know they're going to be disappointed here. Stoops got to get his team back on track. Kentucky, 24.9% chance to win. Volunteers, 75.1% chance. Tennessee, 9.5-point favorites, 54.5 over under. A top 5 national offense. Joey Aguilar, 2,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. Bishop, over 600 yards rushing. Brazel, talented, very deep wide receiver room. Averaging 44.1 points a game, throwing for 310.7. Running for 200.3, but it is an atrocious defense, giving up 30.4 points a game. They score a lot of points, but they give up points to everyone they play. Kentucky, 22.5 points a game, throwing for 186.5, running for 155.7, giving up 25.8 points a game. Not your typical Stoops defense. Usually they're better, a lot more disciplined. They just don't have it this season, but they almost beat Texas last week. I think Tennessee rebounds. They win at 33-20. ESPN2, 8 p.m., the 6-1 Houston Cougars on the road versus number 24, Arizona State Sun Devils, 5-2. Levitt's back. He's fully healthy. Brown, almost 700 yards rushing. Tyson might be a first-round wide receiver. Arizona State, 71.8% chance to win. 8.5 point favorites, 47.5 over under. Houston, 29.4 points a game, giving up 19. Fritz has his team ready. Really good defense, solid offense. Connor Wigman playing really good football from the quarterback position. Arizona State, 26 points a game, giving up 24.3. Things are back in line for them for the Big 12. Levitt's healthy. They can run the ball. Dillingham has his team ready to go the final last couple games of the season. I have Arizona State pulling off the win, though, 27-17. Guys, that's our breakdown and prediction. Sorry if my voice faded at the end. Like I said, I got laryngitis. Thanks for watching. Drop a like button, subscribe, drop your comment below. Who do you think is going to win? Thanks for watching.